Howdy, howdy, howdy. How are y'all doing? Welcome to Cliff Notes Live. Happy Labor Day to all of y'all. Some of you had to work. Thank you for all the work you do, labor you do in this country. Some of us had the day off as well. I hope those of you did and enjoyed your extra long weekend. I know I did. I I spent the weekend at the lake. I was rushing back to get back home so I could do the show tonight. So I came right in, got set up. You can see I'm a little bit different setup tonight than normal, but I wouldn't have missed this evening, especially during Big Brother season. We got plenty of Big Brother to talk about. It's night 33. I just did the recap this morning. We're only a little over a month into it, and it's been crazy so far. And we got 67 days to go, so it's gonna be crazy. All right, before I go any further, SKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love reality TV fans, especially love Big Brother fans, and especially love all you guys out here. Thank you for coming on board with me for yet another evening. I think this is episode 144 or something. So we're working our way right up to sesquicentennial, which I think is 150. I think that's what they call it. We're getting there pretty quick. So welcome to all of y'all for joining me. Before I go any further, let me just remind those of you who have not already done so to please consider going out, subscribing to my channel, turn on notifications, and you give one of those thumbs up while you're at it as well. But mainly, if you sign up and turn on notifications, that way, whenever I drop one of these episodes, the morning recaps, you'll get notification I've done so. I learned a valuable lesson this weekend. We have internet that's provided through a satellite service because we're out in the middle of nowhere, which is great for downloading stuff, for watching the live feeds. Download speed times, perfect, no problem at all. Uploading content on a satellite, not so bueno. It was taking hours and hours and hours to post these recaps on YouTube. So it's been a little infuriating for me, but what are you going to do? But if you have your notifications turned on, you know as soon as I drop it. So just a little hint there. All right, let's see. Let me see who's going on, what's going on out here, and then we're going to just jump right into Big Brother because we got a lot to talk about, I think. All right, Jace Theme Park Show. First one in. Jace, how are you doing, sir? Brian Hotstyle. Brian, how are you? Welcome. Ma is angry. Didn't have a day off. Well, sorry about that, Ma. But I'm glad you're out here. Marilyn Sutherland. Hey, Marilyn, how are you? Tommy Braskett as well. Jake, the horror movie geek. Hey, Jake. Amanda Lowe. I've seen all these names out here. Marilyn Sutherland. I think I said that, but I'll say it again. Tracy Muckenfuss out there. Hey, Tracy. Christopher Bozung. Cindy, how are you? Excuse me. Yeah, Cindy, we'll talk about your thing here in a second. Please remind me. Angie Hung. Last Cliff Notes in a while. Yeah, Angie reached out to me. She's got her gymnastics class. How can I compete with gymnastics class? I think you'll get a lot from that. I took gymnastics once was I grade school? Maybe I think I was in junior high, perhaps. Did it as a way to stay in shape for football. I'm not the most limber person, I discovered. Yeah, you're not seeing any floor routines, floor exercises from me. I was great at vaults. It's landing that was a little tough, but I could jump off the vaults. It just looked a little sloppy when I came on down. But Angie, we're gonna absolutely miss you. Mark Taylor's out here. Hey, Mark, how are you? Joe P as well. Lucindia S. Ken T. My mom's out here. Hey, Mom. Hi, howdy. Let's see. Who else? Tina Warner. And I think that's Terry Thomas. Hey, Terry. Beverly T. Wyatt Garrett. Hey, Wyatt, how are you? And Chaz as well. Hey, Chaz. Good time with the good rums. And Taylor Magnus. I think we'll shut it down by there. Patty Bell and Michelle Moore. Animal Lover Joyce. Oh, what a great login ID. Hey, Animal Lover Joyce. How are you? All right. Fantastic, guys. Welcome all of y'all on board. Tonight, being Big Brother, I don't have a lot of notes prepared. I got a few prompts here and there if I need them, but really, I'm here to answer y'all's questions. I want to know what y'all think about Big Brother. Who's playing this game? Who's just floating around? What do y'all think about the twist? I've got very mixed feelings. I'm sure we'll talk about that some. So let me see a few of these questions we've got out here already. All right, Tracy Muckenfuss. Is that Mr. Cliff Hogg practicing for Big Brother? Oh, Tracy, there was no practicing involved. For those of you who can't see, and I did a little teaser on the when I was promoting the show as well a little while ago. But yeah, that was my battle back competition from day number 30 of 2019. I remember that day oh so well. I had just gotten blindsided. If you don't recall, it was Nicole and I on the block together. I hated that. We were both so frustrated with that, so upset, but it worked out. But yeah, I got blindsided. Immediately, I have to go out in the backyard while the viewers are on a commercial break. I'm going in the backyard. They're explaining the rules to us. They throw that can't come back shirt on. Yeah, I had to wear that for about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Throw that shirt on. They said go. And I rolled a few balls down the ramp and was able to beat my way back into the house, win my way back in. I brought all of that up. Let me say before I go any further, if you don't want spoilers on Big Brother, if you've only watched the episodes and that's all you want to know about, you may want to plug your ears for a second, because we are going to talk about things that happened even up till today. So it is going to be a spoiler heavy zone this evening. So just a heads up, just a warning. But no, did y'all see I think it was the episode, was it Thursday night, I guess, where they showed the invincibility power that Matt won? And it was very familiar to the ball rolling there. His was more of a pyramid, something Egyptian theme. Doesn't matter. It's the same ball rolling type situation. It took him 45 seconds to get his ball in. It took me 22 seconds. So yeah, I'm kind of still proud of that. I mean, I knew my family was so excited watching back home. I was excited. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I was in a zone. Once I started rolling those balls, it just felt natural. It was fantastic. Yeah, it was great. And from this point on, I'm always going to be able to tell people that, at least when it comes to rolling balls down a spiral type ramp, I beat an Olympian. Yeah, Matt may be the most amazing athlete. He is the most amazing athlete, but I got skills as well, Matt. So yeah, I'm gonna give him a hard time when I finally find him about that. But yeah, so here's something else that was kind of funny. After I watched that episode and Matt winning, I said, well, I don't remember exactly what my score was as well. So I went back and watched that episode just as a refresher. I gotta say, even after 4 years, watching that episode, it still stresses me out. It's still there. I mean, I'm happy to watch where I win and all that, and I throw my hat and I'm so excited and all that. But some of the stuff ahead of that, where people are plotting against me and everything, I felt my blood pressure still rising, because it still feels so fresh being in that house. I feel like maybe you don't ever completely lose that feeling. So yeah, but that was fun. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that up there, get my own little personal brag in. So there you go. All right, Mark Taylor saying, what do you think of Bowie James' game? Effing Bowie James, isn't that what they say? Corey even said inside the house. You know what? Everyone has a different way of playing the game, and if Bowie Jane wants to go in there and be a floater, and I don't know, is she a floater or is she a coaster? See, I picture a floater as being someone that very strategically picks one side or the other and sticks with them, and maybe provides a little contribution here and there. But if they need to jump to the other side, then they'll do so if it benefits their game. I was going to say I kind of consider myself to be a little bit of a floater, but not really, because I had my alliances that I tried to stick with as best I could. But I definitely feel like Bowie Jane is trying to fly under the radar, be a little bit of a floater. She talks to Red and Cameron, especially Red, maybe not so much Cameron, but working with Red. But also she's in with the Bye Bye Bees and some of the I think she for real. There's so many alliances out there. But she's got some alliances where she's in with Sari and Felicia and Izzy as well. Now, the problem is, when she's not around, they're bad mouthing her horribly so. That's not good at all. No one really is giving Bowie Jane any credit whatsoever, which maybe it helps you. I mean, we had, over the past 24 hours or so, they were talking about, because Cameron won the veto, as far as y'all know, right? He pulls himself off the block today. So everyone's talking about, who are we going to put up in place of Cameron once he does that? Well, James' name got mentioned a couple times. I know Jared said, I'm not going to waste my HOH on Bowie Jane. Why am I going to send her out? She's nothing. It's a waste to try to get her out right now. So in a lot of ways, being a nothing in the house actually kind of helps you out in some ways, right? It's going to get her far enough into the game. She's going to make jury. I think she'll probably go out sixth or seventh when they finally run out of expendable people and you've got some hardcore groups fighting each other. I think that's when she's going to head out the door, because the problem is this is fine for preseason or preset for pre-jury type work, but you got to start winning at some point in time. She has to exert at some point some influence, some strategy, some contributions, and that time is probably now. I know Jared's scared to death. He's saying if I put up Bowie Jane as a pawn, and then she wins HOH, she's going to come after me. And everyone laughs. Yeah, you're talking Bowie Jane. But what if she did win an HOH? Who would she come after? Would she just kind of go with the big group and maybe go after Red and America, perhaps? Or would she get talked into maybe making a big move? I don't know. Now, remember, her background is a DJ and a barrister, which is just a really fancy British word for attorney. But she's an attorney. So I think a lot of us kind of make fun of her that she's just not really doing anything. She's obviously smart. Most attorneys are smart, right? At least you got some base level smart. So I think an attorney should be able to look at things very logically and reach conclusions and figure out a resolution based on that. She may have all kinds of stuff planned, and she's just biding her time until it happens. So I don't know. The jury is out on Bowie Jane. I think she makes jury. She's got to show me more, but there's still plenty of time. So we'll find out. I was gonna say she's fun in the house. Not really. You forget that she's in the house, but everyone else seems like they want to launch on her while they're in there, right? She gets a lot of criticism considering she doesn't do a whole lot. Cerie's upset. Says, "Oh, Bowie Jane follows me everywhere. No matter where I go, Bowie Jane is tracking me down." Well, when you've gone out of your way to make sure that you are the queen of the house, that everyone reports to you, everyone looks to you for everything, you shouldn't be surprised when people then start following around Cerie. That's just kind of the way that part works. All right. Christopher Boson says, who can take the place of Jerry Lewis on Labor Day? Cliff Hogg. Oh, I remember the day of the Jerry Lewis muscular dystrophy telethons. Yeah. We raised money a few times, my brother and I, and took it down and did that and everything. He's one of a kind. Yeah, I'm maybe not the slapstick kind of guy like Jerry Lewis is, but show how old I am. Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin. I used to watch a lot of his shows. I loved them. All right, Ken T says, looks like Jags game is ending this week. Now, here's the thing. Yes, and for those of you who may not know, again, spoilers. So don't say I didn't warn you, but the veto ceremony was held today. Cameron did pull himself off, even though Felicia was trying to talk him into not doing that. If he hadn't taken himself off the block, they should just boot him right then. Don't even wait till Thursday night. Just send him out the door right then for being a complete doofus. But he didn't do it. He pulled himself off the block, and on the block in his place, Jag, who thinks he's going up as a pawn. He's not. Oh, poor Jag. I want to reach out to him when he's out of the house, and it may be now. I don't know that he's going to make jury, so I may be talking to him soon, but poor Jag. I like the guy. He's in there to have fun. He just does not have a good read on this house right now. I think he's of the mistaken opinion that people just aren't sure that they can trust him. But if he can just convince them of that, then he's good with everyone on the 7 deadly sins, the 7 they're calling them now. It's beyond that. It's not that people don't think that he wants to work with them. They just don't think that they need him anymore, and that he's easier to have as a target than as an accomplice. And I think that's where he's making the mistake. He thinks if he can just get in tight with the 7 deadly sins, that he's good. And they're like, yeah, kind of the room's already taken here, Jag. We've already got 40 people in this alliance or whatever. I just don't think they care enough about him, and there is certainly some mistrust, which is amazing. When you have so many alliances in the house, how can you get mad at anyone for talking to a whole lot of different people? Well, Jared and Cerie and a lot of the others certainly are doing so. But yeah, it's so unfortunate, and it's so weird. Cerie so much wanted Matt to go ahead and save Jag, and I thought it was because she wanted to work with Jag. She was convinced that he was going to stay with her and all of that. And now, just a week later, she's leading the charge to get him out of the house. There was a breakdown in trust. She found out that he was talking to other people. People got in Cerie's ear. that side of the house is very much, if you aren't working with us, you got to be working against us. And I think she just decided that he almost was too good and too friendly and too charismatic. And the worry that he could pull in all these other people around him got her suddenly thinking she's going to go the other way. Think about this. He got voted out unanimous 10-0 last week. Thursday night, he could easily get voted out again 10-0. Can you imagine having 20 votes cast against you in the span of a single week and not a single one supporting you, and you go home after that? That's rough. That is incredibly tough. And I feel for Matt, too, who used his power to save Jag. Well, that's out the door. That was kind of a wasted twist, right? Sure, CBS wasn't really thinking exactly that was going to happen. That's what happens sometimes. Yeah, I feel for Jag. He was my winner's pick. Don't think that's going to be the case now. All right, Joe P saying, we watch your updates every day. We love it. Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. I got to say, these house guests, thank God for Felicia, I guess, who makes them go to bed early. She would drive me crazy if I was in the house. But thank you for the support. I watch those live feeds, and it has been crazy. The problem this season in particular is I watch these things and I'm trying to figure out, who's telling the truth, who's just spinning someone, playing someone else up and all of that. When you have so many people that are in these overlapping alliances, you just never know who is being serious with who and who isn't. And so you almost have to watch less the conversations, but see who is spending the most time with other people, who feels the most relaxed with other people, and use that to maybe figure out who the true alliances are versus the less true alliances. At one point, I thought Legend 25 maybe was kind of legit. I didn't think it'd last for long, but I thought for a week or so it'd be legit. No, that's out the door. That's got red in there. They don't care about that. But yeah, it's been a little tough. But again, thanks to Felicia. She wants everyone in bed by 10 o'clock because that's when she goes to bed. And so she's actually made it her duty to go find everyone else in her room. She did last night. She said, guys, it's 9:45. You've got 15 minutes. Do whatever you need to do before you come to bed. And she wants them in bed. Now, they don't necessarily get there right at 10, but she's kind of watching over them and giving them that look, that scowl. Y'all know what it's like. Yeah, my mom's out there. I know what it's like. And she's making them go to bed. I guarantee. Here's a couple of things I do. One, I would be completely irritated, but you don't want to make her mad because she does have some power, and you don't want to go out of your way to make targets. But I would probably be going out of my way to either make a little noise while I was in that room, or make sure other people were making some noise. Maybe set up some stuff in there so people trip over. Just little silly things like that. Just because I would want to, if someone's forcing me to go to bed at 10 o'clock, I'm going to be a little irritated. I'm going to try to get a little payback of one way or the other. Here's what I'd do. I'd say, absolutely, Felicia, don't even worry. I'm going to bed at 9:45. I'd make sure before her head ever hit that pillow, I was sound asleep, and I would make sure that I was lying flat on my back, which is the position that causes the greatest, loudest voice of God sounding type snore that comes from Old Cliff Hog. Sharon will tell you, I have a little bit of you think I got a loud mouth when I'm in the boat room and I'm talking about strategy? Wait till I'm exhausted, sleeping in bed. I got some snoring skills. I thought I was going to get booted out of the house during my season. I was worried about that. I'd try to sleep on my side, do things like that so I wouldn't snore. If I'm in that room with Felicia, I'm on my back. I'm snoring as loud as I can. I'm going to make her regret that she made me go to bed at the same time she did. That's what I'd be doing. All right, moving on. It would drive. I never thought to tell other people, y'all need to go to bed because I'm tired. It would have never dawned on me, but Felicia, she's running the house. All right. Let me hold on a second. I always miss these. Al Watch, thank you. Here we go. There we go. Al Watch. Thank you so much. Al Watch, thank you for your super stamp. I appreciate it. It says, hi, Cliff. Kitty purr. For those of you who don't know, that's Blue's thing, right? I have not watched her TikTok videos. I don't think I will, but maybe I need to as well. Hope you're good. Thank you so much, Al Watch. I appreciate it. Matt Von Grinspan as well, saying, would Cliff do an all-star seasons? Matt, yeah, in a heartbeat, I would. But God, there was so much pre-gaming that took place on 22. And if they did another all-star season, Yeah, I don't like playing that, but people reach out to me, and I don't know. Yeah, if someone contacted me to come back into the house, whether it's all stars or old stars or no stars, whatever. Yeah, it'd be fun to get back in that house. I'd love to get back and even just host a competition or something. Just to get back in there, and it's like old memories and also. Yes, and thank you for this the super post super chat. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'd do it in a heartbeat. And then all right, and then Cindy mentioned it. Yeah, let's do it. Cindy, if you post it out there, Cindy, reach out to me. Cindy, been with us on this show forever. I've talked to Cindy over phone, Zoom, something like that. A true friend, also a true friend of Give Kids the World charity as well. Cindy's got a little special event going on. I think the voting. Correct me if I'm wrong. It starts tomorrow, right, Cindy? I think I saw that. But Cindy has a special competition she's competing in with a horror movie. Vote for to be in a horror movie. Post it because I saw it while I was driving in the car. But yeah, let's do everything we can to help out Cindy. Go out there and vote for her and get her so many votes that they know she's a ringer and they don't even bother with the rest of the election. Yeah, Cindy, I'm proud and happy to do it, and I'll be posting something on it a little bit later as well. But yeah, for those of y'all, Cindy said she's going to post it. If you haven't done so already, do so, Cindy, and you can post it again as well. But y'all, if y'all get a chance, again, as soon as the voting starts, consider going out there, casting 1, 2, 3, however many they'll let you votes for Cindy. I'd love to see you win that thing, Cindy. That'd be great. The power of the Cliff of Maniacs, right? That'd be pretty cool. So yeah, thanks to all three of y'all for the super chat and all of that. All right, Animal Lover Joyce, how long between when you got your key and going into the house? I was trying to remember that. I think it was just a little less than a week. Now remember, this is before COVID. I think it may take them just a little bit longer nowadays. But I think I got my key on a Tuesday, if I recall. I knew production was going to come out and film some stuff, but they did a good job of saying, yeah, we filmed this for a whole lot of people, a whole lot of alternates, a whole lot of people that don't even make it. We're still trying to make up our decisions. Yeah, I like that. I thought there was a pretty good chance of going, but I wasn't 100% convinced. But they did come out to film the little intros. They said, just in case we do grab you, you need to be packed. Okay, sure. So I'm all packed up. They filmed the intros. I find my key. If you watch my season, when I find my key in that first episode, that was one shot, one take. It wasn't any redoing it or anything like that. I pulled it out. I was like, oh my God. They said, yeah, Cliff, you're going on the show. I was pretty excited. They said, yeah, Cliff, we don't need to reshoot that at all. That was perfect. Sometimes I have to reshoot because someone has a few choice curse words and things like that. Yeah, not me. So anyway, I found the key, went back. Well, they shot a few extra little promo things and all. Went back to my house, grabbed my suitcase. They threw me in a car, took me to the airport with a handler, and I'm gone. That very same day, just a few hours later. I think that was a Tuesday during our season. I think we went into the house on a Tuesday as well. So I guess that's right at a week. Now, during that week, we were in Sequester. We didn't see anyone. There was no TV. I didn't get the chance to talk to my wife, family, or anything. The second I left the house, that was it. I couldn't even on the plane, I didn't have my phone or anything. But the only thing we did while we were there, we learned about the microphone packs, how to wear it. They always said, put your thumb here on your chin, come down, and where your little finger touches right there about your breastbone, that's about where your microphone should be. And so they did little things like that. They went through all our clothes to make sure that nothing that had logos that weren't allowed went into the house. We had a press day. So there's a lot of things we did while we were in there. But yeah, it was right about a week that I spent before I actually went into the house. What a long week that was. Get so excited, so ready to go in there. They had all the movies on DVD players that we could watch. They did not have old seasons of Big Brother, which I thought they would have. No, I would have been watching nothing but old seasons, but didn't have that. So I binged on Mad Men instead. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Marianne saying, how many moves do you need to think ahead before voting somebody? Depends on how good a player you are. But here's the problem. You can start out thinking yourself because there's a lot of people saying, oh, let's do this now. And then next week we'll do this. And next week we'll do the week following. You can get so far ahead of yourself and you think that you've got a perfect plan, but all it takes is one screw up. One person wins an HOH that you didn't count on, one veto that doesn't go your way, and all that stuff gets thrown out the window. So it's I guess it's a little bit like playing chess in that you can think about what you're going to do for the next 5 or 6 moves, but you've got to be flexible. You've got to be adaptable. If that guy playing chess against you suddenly does something you weren't expecting, then everything you've planned after that point is gone. It has to immediately be modified. Well, it's the same way in the Big Brother house. I went in thinking, all right, I'm going to find out whoever this big alliance is. I know I won't be the leader of that alliance. It's going to be some young'un that just is on a power trip and all that. Didn't matter. I said, I'm going to find wherever the big alliance is. I'm going to throw myself at them saying, you do whatever you want to do. Just know I'm behind you all the way. You got my vote no matter what. That was my strategy. Well, I got in there and quickly realized that no, I was not part of the majority alliance. I was going to have to be playing from the outside, trying to fight my way back in, trying to break apart an alliance instead of trying to support them and kind of, just flying a little under the radar as much as an old guy can do. So how many moves? You can think as many as you want, but you better be prepared for the very next move. You better have a couple of different options in place if it doesn't go the way you wanted it to. That's the key, is don't just think too far into the future. If you drive down the road, don't worry about the highway that's the bridge that's a mile away. Worry about critters that may be running in front of you, in the next 20, 30 feet. You got to be focused on the short term. You kind of think about the long term, but you got to be looking at the short term and ready to move and adjust every bit of the way. All right. Let's see. What do we have on here? Taylor Manga saying, do you think Jag is on to Suri and Jared since he put 2 and 2 together about the power? He didn't think for a second it was Matt. I don't know. Yeah, you would think he was on to him, right? I mean, I don't know what went through Jag's mind that Blue volunteered during the meeting, said, hey, Jag, you ought to be the pawn. And Jag's like, no, I don't think so. Why don't you put Bowie up there? And they're like, oh no, it'd be great, Jag. Then Jared doesn't get any more blood on his hands, and they just had it all figured out. And Jag was so intent on proving his loyalty to Suri and Izzy and everyone else that he didn't figure there was a way he could argue himself out. If he's saying I'm so team 7 and all that, and then he says, I'm not doing that. There's no way. He's worried that people are going to look at him and not really think that he's fully committed to it. So I understand that he felt like he was in a difficult place, but he got voted out the week before, 10-0. This alliance, no one supported him whatsoever. He's also commented on the fact that no one in this alliance seems to be reaching out to him for any discussion or decision making or anything. That he's left in the dark on everything. So he's got that. And now this alliance, who is a large alliance, a large majority in this house, still thinks that they have to put one of their own up on the block because they're so worried about Bowie Jane winning an HOH, which is what he was suggesting they do. But they're saying, oh, if she wins, then she may come after Jared if she's been a pawn. All of that combined should have been hitting Jag right then with alarm bells and red flags everywhere. And maybe it did. Maybe he just decided it was best not to vocalize it. He just walked himself into some horrific kind of trap. Now, I'm a little disappointed in Jag, and it's hard in the house. When I say disappointed, it's only because I, as a viewer, get to see everything that's taking place. Inside the house, you don't see everything. You see bits and pieces, and so your information gathering is very limited as a result. So I have full sympathy for Jag and some of the conclusions he's making that may not be 100%, because there for a while, America and Corey were trying so hard to convince Jag that they were on his side, that America said, I wanted to tell you this vote wasn't going to go your way. We wanted to cast the vote to save you, but we couldn't go against the rest of the house. They were being very upfront and very honest, and Jag just wasn't having it. He was saying, I don't believe you. I'm telling other people I don't believe them. And here's the thing. Did he truly not believe them, or was he scared to believe them because he knew that they were not part of the majority necessarily either? And if he believes them, yes, maybe he can then work with them. But is he just the one person in a pecking order at that point in time? So even if he believes them, maybe he chooses to act like he doesn't in front of Suri and Izzy and Felicia, and think that if they think they're pulling one over on me, at least they think they have me on board to use and all of that. Maybe there was more considerations going on that we just haven't seen. But back to the original question: is he onto them? I kind of think he is. If he isn't, he will become Thursday, right? I think Jag is onto them. He just doesn't know how to fix it at this point in time. And I'm not sure. Well, I don't know. I was gonna say I'm not sure he can, but as much as this cast wiffle waffles and all that, who knows what happens by the time we get there? Can he flip it over to Red, get Red out, and then talk about going after Suri and Izzy and all them? Yeah, Willie. Nah, I don't think so. As much as I want him to, I don't think so. All right, Angie's saying, would you have used the invincibility power on Jag like Matt did? I thought about that because I think I talked about it on one of my shows. I would not have used it on week 1. I would not have used it on Jag. But after Matt did it, I started seeing a lot of sense in why he did it. Oh, hold on. I've got a battery that's about to go out, and I know what happened last time with that. Let's see. Hold on, guys. Because I don't want that to happen again. All right. Bear with me, guys. All right. I don't know if that worked out. We'll keep going. If it goes out on me, I'll be right back. All right. What are we talking about? Jag and the invincibility power. Yeah, not so invincible here, right? All right, the invincibility power. Yeah, that's not a. I don't know, guys. We'll figure it out. All right, yeah, I understand why he did it, because he. So weird. Can we switch it to somewhere else? No. Maybe. Let's see. All right, let's see if this does it. I don't know if I'm live or not. Maybe. Let me know if y'all see it. Maybe. All right, we'll try it. Let me. Can y'all hear me, guys? If so, give me a thumbs up because I don't know what's going on with this system. All right, live. All right. If I go away again, we'll fix it once again because I'm still showing weird stuff on my computer. I don't know what's going on. We had a power surge a couple of weeks ago, and ever since it's been acting a little wonky. So maybe that gives me a good sign. So I'll talk quick. All right. So here's the thing. As far as using the power, it made sense afterwards that by using it, Matt had Jag on his side. Jag owed him everything. So yes, I get it. I would have perhaps liked to hold on to it one more week where I absolutely could control something and use it and maybe really get someone's protection. But you only have it for 2 weeks. I think thinking about it, if it was a 4-week long window, I would not have used it. Being only 2 weeks, okay, maybe I kind of kind of understand it at that point. So I don't know. I don't have an issue that Matt used it. I hate that he used it and he's not getting any benefit out of it. And Matt's not happy that Jack's going home as a result either. And I don't blame him at all. But it is what it is. I'm sure Jag's not very happy either. So God, I hate that. I'm just gonna go as long as I keep seeing this flashing thing at the bottom. So something's going with my power. All right, Tommy Braskett saying, do you think it's going to be another unanimous vote again this week? Hope not. It's crazy. I agree, but yeah, I think it is. I think at this point in time, when the writing's on the wall, when everyone sees that that Jag's not going to last, I think everyone's going to jump on board. I'm trying to think who would not make it unanimous. I can't think of anyone. I think Red's going to be on the block, so he can't do it. But I think Cameron, I think Bowie Jane, I think they're all going to go ahead and vote out Jag. I think even Blue is going to vote out Jag, and she and he were tight there for a while. So yeah, that's why I fear that Jag's going to go out on 2 straight 10-0 unanimous votes. And that's a tough legacy to live down. I'm sure that's not ever happened before. So poor Jag. I just feel for the guy. But yeah, I think it's going to be unanimous again, unless something weird happens between now and then. All right, Elsa for you saying, Jared told Jag that he got him into trouble with his mom. Yeah, I know it. Jared slipped up, but Jag didn't realize. Oh, I did not catch with his mom. That's funny because I said that on my my recap this morning, just as a kind of a joke. But he said a few things that have been slips. He really benefited because he started calling Sari Mama Sari and calling Felicia Mama Felicia, and he keeps referring to them as the moms. You do that enough that if you one time say mom, maybe people don't catch it quite as much. But no, I didn't know he did that. That guy, they're going to find out eventually. As much as he told Blue, it still amazes me that she hadn't spilled the beans. And maybe she will, but all right. Well, dude, am I surprised that Jared slipped up? No, I'm not the least bit surprised. He'll pay the price. Oh, Sari, how upset she's going to be if she finds out that because of Jared, her secret about Jared has been revealed. That will be an interesting mother-son conversation. Yeah, Jared already got upset, really upset at Jag, and Jag may be on the block because Jared had told. Stick with me here. Sari had told Jared that Matt was going to save Jag last Thursday, and she said, "But don't tell anyone." And Jared said, "Yeah, okay, fine." Well, he immediately goes to Jag and says, "Hey, just so you know, I think you may be saved tonight," and spills the beans to Jag, and says, "But don't tell anyone." Jag says, "Yeah, sure." There's no secrets in the Big Brother house. And then Jag, I think, told someone who then reported back to Sari. Or no, Jag then went straight to Sari and said, "Hey, I know you said not to tell anyone, but Jared just told me I'm going to be safe." So then Sari called out Jared for spilling the beans. So now Jared's all mad because, as I said in my thing earlier, he got called out by his mom because he said what he spilled some stuff he wasn't supposed to tell anyone. So now he's all upset with Jag saying, you promised you wouldn't say anything. I can't trust you because you don't keep your promises. You don't keep your mouth shut. Didn't he do the same thing to Sari? But somehow it doesn't matter as much for him as it does with Jag. But because of that, I really think Jared just, whether that really made him that mad or he's just using an excuse, but I think that's a big reason, a big part of why Jag was on the block this week, because Jared just said, I can't trust him. He spilled him. He got me in trouble with my mom. What? Whatever. It'd be tough playing the game of Big Brother with your mom in the house. All right. Let's see. Patty Bell saying, who would you like to win the next HOH, and who would you like to go up? I want Ms. America Lopez to win HOH. I would love to see America win it because I think America would maybe make some big moves. Now, watch. She's going to win it, and then she's going to put up Cameron or backdoor Cameron. I'm going to be so disappointed. I would love to see America win it and say, Izzy, Felicia, take a seat. And if either one of y'all come off the block, Sari, just know that you're going up in her place. I don't dislike those people, but I've told you on this show before, I'm always going to cheer for the underdog. I'm always going to cheer for the power flips and for people that are starting to feel too comfortable to start feeling less comfortable. And I think Izzy and Sari and Felicia are feeling way too comfortable right now. And I would love to see America come in and knock all three of them down a couple of pegs and let them know who's running the house, at least for 1 week. And how would Corey respond? Would Corey be there with America? Or would he be over lamenting with those three and saying, oh, I don't know what got into her. I tried to stop her. And, doing Corey kind of action. I love Corey's game. Don't get me wrong. Strategically, I think he's one of the best players in the house. I just think Corey doesn't necessarily stand by people if it benefits his game not to. And, fair enough. It's Big Brother. But, I'd love to see America go up, and I would love to see her put up two of those three ladies and let it be known that if any of them come off, the other one's going up instead. And just strike a little fear of God into the three of them. Let them realize that they're mortals as well and that they could go home just as easily as everyone else. And don't be thinking final twos and final threes because it's way too early to be doing that. I'd love it. Yeah, you see the smile on my face. I would absolutely love to see America win HOH. All right. Portland Trailblazers TV saying, what season were you on, Big Brother? The best one. I personally think that I was on season 21, so that was 2019, the last season before COVID hit, and then that was season 21. Season 22 was the All-Star season, so that was during COVID. So yeah, I was season 21. I loved it. Speaking of, did y'all know Christy Murphy from my season is pregnant and has a couple of twins coming up? Kenty saying Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll talk about that as well. Yeah, so Christy's getting ready to have a couple of kids. Pretty cool. Kenty saying, have you heard from Nicole Anthony and how is she doing? Nicole's doing pretty well. Now, she's bridal planning. She's getting married next spring. I know, having just had a daughter who got married, let her go do her thing. And yeah, I haven't talked personally to Nicole a lot. I've talked to her some, and she's excited. They just moved into a new place, and she's doing all her planning and all that. We're planning to go up there for the wedding. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, life progresses for all of my fellow castmates. They're getting married. They're having babies. They're moving into homes, doing all the stuff that regular old folks do. And I'm so happy to watch them all doing it. Yeah, it's pretty neat. I'm so happy for her. Of course I'm happy for her. It's going to be great. All right. Ma's saying Dr. Will was a floater. Yeah, it works. Floaters are strategic and play both sides. Rachel with her iconic quote about Life Fest changed the meaning. Coaster's the one that do nothing. I absolutely agree with you, Ma. You're right. And people confuse the two. A coaster, you're right. A coaster is just someone that's just there and they don't want to cause any conflict. They're just trying to make it as far as they can to the end and hoping that things just work out right. During my season, Sis was a coaster. She didn't win anything. She didn't go out of her way to alienate people too much. She was just kind of there hoping that she could get towards the end. And she got so upset when Mickey put her up. She said, well, I haven't done anything to you. He said, yeah, but it's because you haven't won anything. You've had zero influence or power in this game. Sometimes even the people who haven't offended you still go home. That's just the way it works out. But yes, I agree. There is a difference between coasters and floaters. Floater just means adaptability, right? You can be a floater, and that doesn't mean that you don't have loyalties. It just means that you recognize that sometimes you have to cut that life raft loose and say goodbye to people that you really like, but you know that they're getting ready to go over the waterfall, and as much as you'd like to save them, you can't. So you cut the rope loose. You say, I'm looking forward to seeing you on the other side, but I got other work to do. Now that sounds brutal and heartless and cold and all that, and it's not actually like that in the house. But you do have to sometimes recognize that if you truly are there to play the game, sometimes you can't stick with the people that you started off at the very beginning. You have to transition. It gets back to adaptability, which I mentioned before. You have to be able to be adaptable and flexible. And that means also working with people that maybe you weren't always working with previously. I did a little bit while I was in the house. Whenever I could, I stuck with my alliances. And a few of them, like Nicole, she was my ride or die. There wasn't any confusion there. We were going to the end, or there we weren't cutting each other loose. But others, you do what you got to do. That's what makes Big Brother such an interesting and sometimes very tough game. All right, let's see what else we have on here. Patty Bell saying, has there ever been a season with as many alliances and back and forth, so much confusion? I don't think so, Patty. I mean, I've watched it since season 8, and there you have sometimes more than one alliance, and sometimes you've got a little alliance, and then you got the hangers on that make for bigger and all that. But it's almost like every single person in this house has said, I want to make sure I've got some kind of alliance with everyone else in the house. And you know what it reminds me of, and it's a completely different scenario, but it still makes me think of it. It reminds me of when there were 6 of us during my season left in the house. It was Nicole and myself as a duo. It was Mickey and Holly as a duo, and it was Christy and Tommy as a duo. And we all knew we were working as groups of 2. And we would go in, I would go in to talk to Tommy and Christy and say, I'm going for Holly and Mickey. If I win this thing, that's who's going out the door. And then I'd go to Holly and Mickey and say, I'm going for Christy and Tommy. If I win, that's who's going out the door. And I knew they were doing the same things. They were coming to me and Nicole. They were going to Tommy and Christy. We all knew it's like the scene from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. We had 2 guns out. We were pointing them at 2 different duos. And it was just a matter of which trigger are you going to pull if you get the opportunity. But we all knew that we were double dealing everyone else. And so we were okay with it because that was just the way the game was played. I feel like that's the same way right now. Everyone knows there's so many alliances in place that everyone's kind of double dealing with each other. It's just people hoping that the alliances that they're in are the real ones to other people and not just something that's happening. But they all know that people are mixed in with different alliances. I think they do. Now, you have some people like Jag or Cameron and Red with Legends 25 or Jag with the 7 who may not be as aware of that. But I think there's a lot of people that just understand that you got what's a Venn diagram? You got about 5 different bubbles, and I just hope I'm in the one that's still a bubble at the end of the thing. Yeah, it's crazy. I've never seen this before. Maybe there's been a season. I just don't remember it. Talk about making it confusing, trying to keep track of this. I can't. Sometimes I go through the whole night doing my notes, and at the end, it's like, okay, I think based on all of this, I think this is the legit. This makes sense. But I go through the whole night saying, I don't know. Are they serious? Are they not serious? Is Corey lying when he's throwing the America under the bus? Is he supporting her? I just don't always know until you get to the end of the evening. And even then, even if you're right, it could change tomorrow. It's been a crazy season. All right, Cindy Hire saying Bowie James is laying low. Yeah, she is. She's absolutely laying low. The only time I hear people talking about Bowie Jane really is saying they don't think she's a DJ or they don't believe that she's really 34. She's not. I don't know why she lied about it in the first place, but whatever. Izzy's the point of trying to. She found out that Bowie Jane said something about her parents were both retired. So Izzy is already saying, well, if her parents are retired, she's 34, and they had her when she was. She's trying to do all the math. She's playing a little detective Encyclopedia Brown All right. Am I live again? Remember what I said about being flexible and adaptable? That doesn't apply just to Big Brother. That applies to life itself. Uh, I hope y'all tell me, am I live right now? Because if not, well, all right, I am. Thank you, thank you. Sorry, guys, I don't know what's going on. Obviously, time for a little upgrade here. All right, now I don't even know what we're talking about at this point in time. Sure had something to do with Big Brother, right? All right, we'll move on next one. Tina Wagner saying, power is wasted. Yes, indeed. I feel so sorry for Matt. Uh, but here I actually was thinking about that today. What if Matt hadn't used his power last week? What if instead he had held on to it? Well, Jag would have gone home last week, right? 10-0 vote. That's the end of it for Jag. Now, this week, you would have had Jared on the block, or Jared is HOH. Who would he put up if Jag was already gone? He'd still put up Cameron. He probably would have put up Red or Bowie Jane, maybe America, right? I'm not sure. But any of those people being put up, would Matt have wanted to use his power to save Cameron or America or Bowie Jane? I don't think so. So I think all that would have happened if he hadn't used his power last week is it just would have been wasted. It wouldn't have been used this week. Oh, the producers would have hated that, right? If it didn't get used at all. It's really weird that power only lasted for 2 weeks and no longer. I don't know. I think it would have been more interesting if he'd had it for 3 or 4 weeks, but it is what it is. They wanted to have it used before you got to the jury phase. The problem, I think they should have given that power out a couple of weeks earlier, so he had 4 weeks to go and still could use it right before they got to jury phase, but not the case, not to be. So yeah, it was wasted, but I'm not sure it would have been used in other circumstances anyway. But I'd be mad if I was Matt. I'd be mad if I was Cameron. His whole talk about wasted. Yeah, Matt's power was wasted. Cameron's whole HOH was wasted. He didn't get any benefit of it. He just got blood on his hands, right? Ooh, I hate that. I know what it was like to have an HOH influence. Christy had that diamond power veto for me, and yeah, not so bueno at all. All right, let's see what we've got on here. Joe P saying, do you think Jag just gave up? I hope not. I mean, I get it. Sometimes Red was ready to throw in the towel earlier this week. He had promised Cameron that if Red had said, if I win veto and we're both on the block, I'm going to use it on you, Cameron. And he was serious about it. Oh, I guarantee I win veto. I'm not using it on anyone but myself. But Red felt like, I don't know. Red was ready to throw in the towel. Jag, I don't know. I have not watched the live feeds enough because I was traveling. So I haven't watched him since the veto ceremony took place. Jag thinks he's a pawn. So I think he's still thinking he's good with everyone. I'm waiting until, I don't know, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever someone comes to him and says, look, you're getting played, my friend. This is not, you're going out 10-0 again. He's going to be heartbroken. At that point, I think he'll give up. He'll throw in the towel. I mean, he'll still, you say goodbye and you visit with Julie and all of that. But when he realizes he's gotten played, it's going to be hard. I kind of hope they don't tell him until right before the vote, so he has minimal amount of time to sit. Nothing worse than sitting in that house for a couple of days, knowing that your game is over and you just have to ride it out. And he's about to that point. Oh, I just feel for him. All right, what else do we have on here? 7:55. Taylor Mag is saying, do you think it would be a good idea to backdoor America since they view her as a wild card? Yeah, I mean, she's the only one that's really about the only one who said she'd go after Serene, Felicia, and Izzy. So they probably, if I'm one of them, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to maybe get her out the door in a lot by Corey, I think, because I know there's been talk like Jared saying, look, if I put up America, don't think that we're going to hold on to Corey. He may go over to the other side. I don't know that we can keep him happy and put America up, especially if they actually backdoor and send her out as opposed to just a pawn. Yeah, I'd be a little worried. And I think it maybe was Nicole who had said at one point that she thought that America was a little bit of a wild card. She said, if we know Cameron's going to go after Izzy and all that, and Red probably and Bowie Jane, we can work things with them. But she said that America we don't know. And she had also said she was actually advocating for Jag, saying Jag's on an island. He doesn't have anyone, which means if he stays, who knows where he's going to go. I feel it's the same way with America as well. I know where I think she should go, and I've heard her say where she wants to go. Will she do it? Will Corey contain her a little bit? Yeah, and I don't know, but yeah, I think wild card's a great way to describe America. She's our hope. Yeah, what was it? Star Wars, Obi-Wan and Princess Leia. You're our only hope, Obi-Wan. Well, I feel like America right now is about our only hope to really make this season exciting. She could stir things up, and I'm all on board for it as well. All right, what else do we have on here? Let me see. Captain Leaf, Captain Leaf fan and Batman. I hope Have Nots returns. Suri and Felicia are Have Nots. I agree. I don't know why they stopped Have Nots. They had that one peanut butter and jelly week last week, and then it just went away. Suri and Felicia were talking about that. I think it's Suri that was talking and said, we haven't won anything so far. We haven't been Have Nots either. We haven't really contributed, good or bad, to anything so far. And I mentioned at the time, I said, well, you contributed a lot of chaos, a lot of paranoia, a whole lot of stress amongst a whole lot of people. But yeah, for all their control that they have in the house. Now, Felicia, I say that. Felicia's one side. I think it's Suri and Izzy that we're talking. Felicia did win that one HOH. She won't let us forget it. But Suri and Izzy, for however many comps they've had so far. Yes, I would love to see the two of them in Have Nots. I don't think they'd handle it well. Not well at all. I don't think Slop's going to agree with either of those two. You think they're kind of short-tempered sometimes now. Wait till they get on Slop. that's going to be a little interesting as well. All right. Let's see. What else do we have on here? Tracy of Muck and Fuss. So you all met before you went into the Big Brother house? No. They made sure that wasn't the case. I was kept in a sequester spot. Everyone else was kept in sequester spots, but we stayed separate from each other, didn't know each other's name, knew nothing at all about each other. I didn't see anyone else that was on my season until right before we went on stage. They had us in a little hallway waiting to be introduced by Julie Chen to come on stage before we went in the house. And even then, they said, y'all are not to talk at all. Zero talking, because they didn't want us to hear accents or anything else. I think people saw my hat, kind of figured what my accent would be as well, but we weren't allowed to talk at all. I know Christy was in the hallway while I was there, and she was crying because she was so stressed or happy, or Christy just cries a lot. But they were giving her napkin or tissues, but yeah, there was no talking. We didn't see anyone at all. Right the day we went into the house, they brought coffees to all of us from Starbucks or somewhere. In my coffee cup, they messed up and it said Nick on it. And so it's like, oh, y'all messed up. I know there's someone named Nick in this house now. Oh, I'm going to use that information and all that. So I thought I had one over on them. Other than that, yeah, I didn't know anything before I went up on that stage and went inside and actually heard people talk. And when we talked to each other inside the house, that was the first time that we talked to each other. So yeah, no, we didn't know each other before then at all. All right, let's see. We've got Patty Bell saying, how do you know there aren't clues in the home letters? Well, once upon a time, supposedly, allegedly, Evil Dick may have gotten a letter from home that had some coded words in it. I've always heard that. And I've talked to Dick a few times. I met him in person a few times. I've never asked. No, here's the deal. First of all, the initial HOH letters that are given out are written before the season begins, or are written like in the first week before anything's actually happened. I know my family was asked to do some HOH letters and all that. Later in the season, I think maybe people write them. But the other thing they do as well is they rewrite them. I mean, and I don't know if they paraphrase or anything. I don't know that they do that, but they rewrite them so that you can't say, okay, every capital letter means something, or if I start the sentence with this, or first word to the left means this. Now they rewrite it on a new sheet of paper so that there's no hidden anything that you can be doing on that. So I think they're aware that people maybe would try to do that if they could. And so now, if anyone's done it, they haven't revealed it to me just yet. All right, Jake Horror Movie Geek is saying, still hoping for battle back, perhaps a jury battle back. I think that's where we're at, Jake. I don't see a battle back pre-jury. So if they're going to have one, it's going to be post-jury. And I'm okay with that. But if it's going to be a post-jury battle back, I want it to be the first 3 or 4 people that make it to jury. I don't want someone at the very end necessarily coming back in. You need to, and even that, I'm a bigger fan of the pre-jury than I am the post-jury battle backs, but Yeah, if they want to get the first 4, give them a chance to fight back in the game, then so be it. Uh, who do y'all want to be the final non-juror? I know. Let's assume that Jag's gone. Cameron may be going next week. Probably that's the most likely guess, right? Unless he wins something, which would make him the final preseason juror, we think. But what if that didn't happen? What if Cameron won HOH? Or what if Cameron gets veto again next week? They're going to be targeting him over and over again. Cameron could be the very first juror. Now, can you imagine someone like America getting booted out of the house and having to spend a week in the jury house with just her and Cameron? Yeah, I don't think she wants to envision that either. That would be a little rough. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I could see though a postseason battle back because they're still trying to get to 100 days. So there you go. All right, one more and then we'll wrap this up. Angie's saying, do you see a situation where Sari is evicted before finale? Yeah, I do. And here's why. Social game, charisma, strategy, all of that works so well in the early game and the mid game. But as you get towards the very end, you've got to win some competitions. You can't rely just because there's so few targets out there. Eventually, Sari is going to be seen as such a threat by the other people in the house. She's going to have to win a competition or two to save her in some appropriate times, in some necessary times. And that was her downfall on Survivor, is she didn't win that many competitions, and eventually it would catch up to her at the very end. I think that's going to happen again this year. I don't think she's going to win it. I think she could make it to the final 4 or final 5, but at that point in time, people are going to see her as too big a threat, and she's going to have to win a competition. She's not going to do it, and we're going to see her as one of the last couple of jurors in the house. And that's my prediction. That's her Achilles heel. Is I just don't know that Sari's gonna win. Physical competitions, I don't think she's shown that she can do that. Even studying their days, dates, things like that. Izzy has offered to help Sari because Izzy realizes how important it is. Sari, I'm not sure she quite gets that. She needs to know that stuff. So, yeah, she may surprise us, but yeah, I think that's going to be her downfall right there towards the very end. All right. With that being said, it's a little after 8, but, with my technical issues and all of that, I'll fix it by next week. But guys, y'all have a fantastic Monday night, finishing off your Labor Day. It's short work week as a result. Enjoy your rest of your week. Tomorrow morning, I'll have a recap. So if you haven't already subscribed and turned on notifications, please do so, because I'll be recapping overnights tomorrow. But until then, or until next Monday, y'all have a fantastic week. SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Have a great one. And it's Big Brother season. See y'all later, guys.